The U.S. Army is currently considering adding the Spike Firefly, an innovative small new drone produced in Israel, to its arsenal. The drone, dubbed a miniature electro-optical tactical loitering munition by its creator Raphael, was one of the weapons assessed at the Army Expeditionary Warrior experiment, which ended last month. The Army is currently evaluating the drone's performance and will make a decision on whether or not to purchase it soon. The tube-shaped Firefly, which stands around 16 inches tall and weighs less than 5 pounds, lifts off vertically with coaxial propeller blades and can handle 350-gram warheads. According to Raphael, the munition has a sophisticated multispectral seeker with an uncooled IR sensor, a high-definition CMOS day sensor, and a proximity sensor that allows it to detect, identify, track, and home on very agile targets. The drone can be operated by a single person, and its interface is engineered to be as simple as possible in order to reduce cognitive strain, potentially a great selling point for a military that is suffering from data overload. During the 2-day assessment, 7 infantry teams were qualified in the use of the weapon system, utilizing inert rounds and an embedded trainer, according to Gal Papier, Vice President of Corporate Development at Rafael USA. The Firefly was employed in urban area drills after training. An inert Firefly munition was launched at a simulated enemy sniper location in an upper floor of a facility as part of the assessment. British soldiers could foresee circumstances in which the Firefly, as well as other robotic systems, could save lives, according to Major Pete Guo, who attended the U.S. Army testing. Developing this type of technology could allow commanders to position robotics and loiter ordnance in harm's way before engaging humans, posing unique difficulties for our opponents while safeguarding our soldiers, he said. After apparently getting the Firefly in May 2020, the Israeli military is already using it. According to sources, the IDF has employed it in operations targeting terrorists firing from buildings and IDF forces. The Army Expeditionary Warrior experiment, which takes place every year at Fort Benning in Georgia, is now in its 18th year. Project Convergence, the Army's enormous contribution to the Pentagon's Joint All-Domain Command and Control, or JADC2 program, is now geared to guide it. Furthermore, the Israeli Defense Business Extend has inked a contract with the U.S. Department of Defense to supply the U.S. military with hundreds of new Wolverine Gen 2 drones. Ground personnel will be protected by the unmanned system, which will be employed on perilous missions. The Wolverine is a featherweight, multi-purpose drone made in the United States that uses less power than other tiny unmanned systems. It's made to be piloted by people who have never flown before, and it's capable of doing distant jobs in challenging conditions. The Wolverine system was designed in direct response to forces need to undertake difficult field and outdoor missions while preserving force protection and avoiding enemy engagement, according to Extend spokesman Gadi Barner. Extend's human-centric machine interfacing technology powers the Wolverine Gen 2. It uses the most powerful virtual and augmented reality technology, as well as sophisticated machine learning flight algorithms to provide comprehensive sensory awareness. The drone can assess enemy territory within hard-to-reach indoor locations, transport payloads, and dispose of explosive devices, among other things. The unmanned technology, according to Barner, is already combat-proven and has been utilized successfully by the Israeli Defense Force in securing the country's borders. For the first time, any user may fly a drone spontaneously and without any prior instruction, he stated, providing forces entire field autonomy. We're happy of the tight cooperation among Extend, the Israeli Ministry of Defense, and the U.S. Department of Defense. As part of that, which Extend employs a team of U.S. veterans, and we hope it'll continue. Extend's sale of thousands of Wolverine drones to the U.S. military is part of the U.S. military's growing investment in unmanned aerial systems. The U.S. Army said earlier this month that it may purchase the Israeli-made Spike Firefly multi-purpose mini-drone for troop safeguarding in dangerous circumstances. The maiden flight and marine deployment of a Textron Aerosonde drone on board a guided missile ship were also conducted successfully by the U.S. Navy. The integration should help the service improve its marine espionage, surveillance, and intelligence gathering capabilities. If you've liked what you've seen so far, make sure to subscribe. Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, located in Israel and best known for inventing Israel's Iron Dome, has also entered the burgeoning loitering munitions industry with its Firefly device. The Firefly is a tiny kamikaze drone developed in partnership with Israel's Ministry of Defense. Miniature is emphasized. Firefly is only 16 inches tall, weighing under 5 pounds and has 350-gram warhead. The Firefly is cylindrical and is delivered in a compact tube that fits neatly inside an infantryman's knapsack. Using coaxial rotors, the drone lifts off vertically. Firefly, designed for urban warfare, is particularly well-suited to taking out entrenched enemy units like snipers, RPGs, or IED gun runners, while keeping special forces out of direct fire. The operator of the Firefly operates it using a small handheld tablet. The Firefly feeds surveillance footage to the operator via its onboard camera, who may choose a target at will and send the warhead-carrying Firefly on a 70-kilometer kamikaze dive. The effectiveness of the Firefly prompted an order from the frequently engaged Israeli Defense Forces. The US Army is also considering a Firefly command. Israel's little drone is not without flaws. With only 15 minutes of flight time and a range of only 500 meters, the Firefly's user must act quickly. Thankfully, the Firefly was built with easily replaceable batteries and more crucially, a return-to-sender option. The Firefly, unlike previous loitering munition systems such as the Switchblade 300, may return to its controller at the press of a button. The reusable Firefly is equipped with onboard sensors that assist the drone in navigating congested urban situations, avoiding branches, power lines, and other obstacles. As a result, the Firefly is best suited for soldiers stationed in metropolitan areas, outgunned by their adversary, and eager to protect their valuable human capital. Take, for example, Ukraine. An influx of Firefly mini-drones would undoubtedly aid the Ukrainian military. In fact, the Ukrainians have already been smitten with the Switchblade 300, a comparable weapon that has proven efficient in destroying Russian tanks. The Firefly may not be as powerful against tanks as tanks, but it would help Ukrainian infantrymen defending rubble-strewn cities like Kiev, Kharkov, Odessa, and Donetsk. The question is if Israel would provide military assistance to Ukraine. Israel is one of the few Western-aligned countries that has favorable relations with Russia. Nearly 15% of Israel's population was born in the former Soviet Union or would be a first descendant. Israel now has a vibrant Russian-speaking community. Strong diplomatic and commercial relations exist between the two countries. And not to be overshadowed, Russia acts as a major check against Iranian dominance in Syria. Israel also enjoys good connections with Ukraine, complicating matters further and placing the Jewish state in an uneasy middle ground. Israel has spent the previous few months striving to find the sweet spot between Russia and Ukraine, while also attempting to negotiate. However, pressure is mounting on Israel to support Ukraine, primarily due to moral anger rather than any military requirement. Over 3/4 of Israel's population is pro-Ukraine, as demonstrators showed during lively protests. Intense pressure from the Biden presidency may persuade Israel to send military aid to Ukraine, such as a cargo of Firefly drones. The US has recently chastised Israel for sheltering Russian oligarchs fleeing sanctions. However, the United States has accepted Israel's security concerns and backed its triangulating mediation attempts. Furthermore, the US has a close relationship with Israel, which appears to understand that the large amounts of help they receive from the US are not tied to any restrictions or expectations. And then there's the murkier matter of what the US's genuine goals are in the Ukrainian conflict: defend Ukrainians or enslave Russia in a resource-sucking catastrophe a la Afghanistan. Uncertainty exists, but don't anticipate the US to exert much pressure on Israel. Israel, for one, is completely focused on its immediate surroundings. They have serious worries at home, and they have little to gain from the Ukraine-Russian confrontation. All the countries that are now giving military aid to Ukraine have a direct stake in the results. Regional powers in the battle zone include the United Kingdom, France, and Germany. The United States is a hegemony committed to prevent the emergence of another hegemony in Europe. Israel, on the other hand, has little need to get involved in the conflict. Expect no inflow of Israeli military technology into Ukrainian forces in the near future. So this Firefly drone was undoubtedly one of the best. Do you think this was the coolest mini-drone version? Let us know in the comment section below. Watch the video on the screen if you want to know more about killer drones used in wars and on battlefields. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update from us.